Creature Preacher here with another half-hour speed paint challenge. Today I drew the Goomba from the Mario Brothers movie, but as if it were a Kaijin. So what's a Kaijin? Basically, you know the villains in Power Rangers? That's technically what a Kaijin is. I could get into the etymology of what the name means, but to just give you a simplified version, the villain of the week of every week in Power Rangers is a Kaijin. So like Goldar or whatever, that's what a Kaijin would be. It's basically a term, a catch-all term for villains in like Super Sentai and Kamen Rider or anything similar like that. Basically, it's a humanoid monster that the good guys fight. And sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. It can be all over the place, but that's generally what a Kaijin is. So if you can imagine, like I said, Power Ranger villains, that's a good start. But generally, there are some really great Kaijin designs, like Doris from Kamen Rider Zeta O. He is an amazing Kaijin design, and there's other really good ones too. And a lot of that has to do with the artists that work on them. I believe at least two of my favorite Kaijin artists out there are Takayuki Takeya and Keita Amamiya. Now, both of those guys have worked together on old school and modern tokusatsu shows, and they've designed Kaijin out the wazoo for years. And I personally, if I had to be honest, like in my top favorite things in the whole world, Kaijin are pretty close up there. Like a really great Kaijin design, in my opinion, is just as good as a really good Kaiju design. So, but they don't get the love that Kaiju do. So I want to draw a lot of Kaijin on this channel, and I want to do a lot of Kaijin challenges if people actually want to see them. So yeah. The reason I wanted to do this is a while back I started thinking about that Mario Brothers movie and thinking about why I didn't like it and what was wrong with it. And instead of just going back and complaining about everything that was wrong with it and kind of practicing what I preach, I decided to, at some point, I should try to draw what I think the movie would be like if it was in the hands of a Japanese studio and director. And this is kind of sort of what I have in my head, this painting that I'm doing right here. I'm not going to guarantee that this painting is going to turn out exactly like I like it. In fact, looking at it now, I mean, there's a lot of things I would change, but once again, it's a 30-minute speed paint challenge. I might go in and actually do a nice full character sheet for this guy at some point and perfect the design. So yeah, I want to talk about the design philosophy behind this. And why he looks the way he looks is, it's simple. I mean, Goombas have those like sharp underbite teeth. They're almost like tusks. So that I wanted to put those in there. And in the Mario Brothers movie, all of the people who live underground there are evolved from dinosaurs, essentially. So when Koopa, King Koopa there starts turning people into or de-evolving people, they kind of go back to this state that's similar to what they looked like when, I don't know, earlier in their evolution or something. So when I was designing this guy, I kind of was thinking about a bunch of different dinosaurs and stuff in mind, and something that would be kind of similar to a Goomba but also have aspects of that movie design in there. And I just kept coming up with like ankylosaurs, notosaurs, whatever you want to call them. Kept imagining ankylosaurs, and then like just a little bit of like a Pachycephalosaur or a Dracorex or a Stygimoloch kept like popping into my head. So when I was designing this guy, I was kind of coming up with those dinosaurs in my head, and that's just what I ran with. And because it's a Kaijin tend to be, it's weird, like, I don't know how to describe the aesthetic that they go for, but they tend to have like a motif. A good example of how their motifs work would be, you know how some Kaijin and Power Rangers might have been based on like, I've seen ones that are based on like a motorcycle, others that are based on like a soldier. A good example would be Rito Repulso. I think he's like a soldier skeleton, so he's kind of got camouflage on him, and he's got like a helmet. So it's not uncommon for these kaijin to have these sort of motifs. And I didn't really come up with a motif for this guy, which I'm kind of sad, aside from him being a dinosaur. But it's something that goes into the design philosophy of kaijin. And there's a part in the painting where I kind of like start to draw a jewel in his chest, and then I don't go very far with it. And I don't know where I was going with that. I don't know, maybe imagining him with like maybe maybe its motif is minerals or something. I don't know. But yeah, I sort of imagine in this universe, this Mario Brothers universe that's directed by maybe Keita Amamiya or whatever, it would be more of a sci-fi fantasy than just like a weird alternate reality sci-fi dystopian whatever the heck the original movie was. And there would be magic involved and stuff more so than technology, and it would be, of course, since it's Japanese and tokusatsu related, it would probably be more similar to things like Ultraman or Kamen Rider or something like that. So I sort of imagine this Goomba here as being kind of a grunt, and he would be kind of big and buff, but also hunched over, so he would be shorter than the Koopas. And I just kind of imagine he would have some kind of weakness on his neck, so like if Mario like jumped on his head, it would defeat him. And that's just kind of where I get just what I'm running with. And you consider like the way that the directors of that original film went about things, like they just took very basic ideas from the games and tried to make it into this, like, I don't know what the heck they tried to make it into. So I don't think that that's too far of a stretch to imagine something like that. So yeah, this is kind of a fun little drawing. I had a friend that I showed it to before I made this video, and he said that it looks like a Cantor. And a Cantor is one of my favorite monsters from Monster Hunter. So I guess I could understand why I might inadvertently make it look a Cantor-like. I can honestly say I wasn't trying to make it look like an Acantor, but yet here we are. It does kind of look like an Acantor, but yeah. And just to kind of talk about some aspects of its facial structure, you notice like I kind of give it this jawline, and that's kind of a jawline that's common with a lot of like Kamen Rider villains and stuff. And I wanted to make it look, I did want to make it look almost like it was a rubber suit. Like that was a jawline from something that's an obvious mask or rubber suit. And that's the thing about like tokusatsu in general, or just anything like that comes from Japan. There's this level of like suspend your disbelief, that you have to just kind of accept that there's going to be limitations with the special effects, and that's okay. And that's kind of the charm of it, and that's what I wanted to capture with it. I don't know if I did, but I hope I did. I hope it kind of looks like it's a little bit of a rubber-suited monster. I know a couple of my buddies that I showed this to said it looked a little too organic, so I don't know, it didn't look rubber enough, but whatever. I mean, it is what it is. When they're sketching up these designs before they make them into like a foam latex or rubber suit or whatever they make them into, like they tend to look a little more organic, so I'll let it slide. But yeah, I've rambled on for almost 9 minutes, and I don't even think the video is going to be 9 minutes in all. But yeah, I don't know, guys. This was fun to do. I enjoyed doing this. I'm probably going to do more with this design, and I might do a Koopa Troopa later, and I might even do a Bowser if this gets a decent enough response. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy watching this little speed paint thing I did, and I should have some more coming your way very, very soon. So thanks for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and please subscribe. Like, I'd like to get 100 subs before January. I don't know how good of a chance I'll do that, but you know, it's worth a shot. So enjoy the rest of the video, guys, and I'll talk to you later.
何って